What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Mentality in Fortnite is one of those things that a lot of players struggle with. Whether it's getting angry and tilted, not having confidence in fights, or lacking motivation, having a poor mentality in Fortnite is one of the biggest factors that stops people from improving at the game. So that's why in today's video, we'll be discussing how you can fix each of those mentality issues in order to stay strong mentally and improve at the game. As always, if you find this video helpful, then be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new and want to see more, and if you want to show some extra support, it would really mean a lot if you could use code TECHO in the item shop. It's 100% free for you. It only takes a few seconds to type in, and it seriously does help me out a bunch. As always, a massive thank you to everyone who uses my code. Seriously, the code's been popping off lately. I appreciate you guys a lot. But with that said, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. So in today's video, we're going to have three different sections for the three most common mentality issues. The first section is going to be anger and tilt. The second section is going to be confidence, and the last one is going to be motivation. With that said, the first section we're going to be getting into is anger and tilt. For a lot of players, this is one of the biggest mentality issues they face. Anger is a pretty self-explanatory one, simply getting mad at the game. But tilting is a bit of a different beast, as it's not only getting mad, but it's the culmination of this anger over multiple games and ultimately leads to you playing worse. Anger and tilt basically go hand in hand, and if you're susceptible to them, they can seriously hinder your performance in game. The first tip I have to reduce your anger and tilt is going to be to have some sort of outlet. In the end, Fortnite is a game that's literally designed to make you lose the vast majority of the time, and with all the RNG involved, you're bound to run into some stupid situations. And honestly, it's kind of natural to get mad at some of this stuff, but a big key here is to not let this anger consume you and to have some way of getting it out. If you just bottle up that anger nonstop, it's just going to drive you crazy. That being said, having some sort of outlet for your anger is super important if it's something you're susceptible to. This is typically seen as some sort of physical activity by most people. Some people go to the gym, some people just go for a walk to chill out, and some people literally just drop down and do push-ups when they get mad. And some people prefer to do the classic method of just beating the crap out of a Cheez-It box. Whatever it might end up being, having an outlet for when you get mad is definitely helpful. Second up, my next tip for anger and tilt is to take frequent breaks. When you first jump on the game and you're just chilling out, you tend to not get concerned when you die in game. You just queue into the next one, and that's that. But as time goes on, as you're playing more, you're probably going to find yourself starting to get more frustrated, starting to tense up more, and you'll find yourself getting way more mad when you die. When this happens, a big key is just to take a break, chill out, and mentally reset. The fact of the matter is that playing when you're tilted is not going to help you improve, as your judgment gets way more cloudy when you're mad, and you're probably just performing worse whether you realize it or not. So when you find that happening, jump off the game. Maybe go for a walk, play a different game, watch another amazing Techo video on YouTube, type his code into your item shop. You get the gist. In all seriousness though, taking some time off the game can work wonders when it comes to anger and tilt, and you'll find yourself coming back refreshed and excited to play. And hopefully with code TECHO in your item shop. My third and final tip for anger and tilt is going to be a bit of a less common one, which is to spend some time in team modes like duos, trios, or squads. I don't know exactly why this is, but I find it a lot harder to get angry or tilted when you're hanging out in a call and just chilling out while playing. I guess we tend to take the game very seriously when we play solos, and we get extra amped up about it when we lose, and playing a team mode can be a really good break from that. There's less RNG, you have higher odds of winning the game, and something about being in a call with somebody you enjoy talking to just makes it way easier to stay calm and collected. So next time you want to play the game and avoid the anger and tilt, try out some team modes and chill out for a bit rather than sweating it out as a solo. In the end, you need to consider that the game of Fortnite is just that, a game, and unless you're at the top level and competing for big prizes, like I'm talking playing at LANs and this game is actually your job, unless that's the case, you shouldn't be afraid to spend some time chilling out. Moving on to our second aspect of mentality that many people struggle with though, and this is going to be a lack of confidence. For a lot of people, confidence in fights is something they always seem to struggle with. In creative, they're totally fine, but when they hop into a real game, they find themselves being nervous, shaky, and ultimately choking the fight. To be completely honest, guys, confidence is one of those issues that really does not have a simple answer. But with that said, I'm going to do my best to give you guys the two methods that might actually help you out with it. The biggest key I've found for improving your confidence in Fortnite is one that you can actually do during your fights. Instead of focusing on your own nervousness and worrying about whether you're going to lose, instead focus on doing everything you can to make your opponent nervous. This means playing aggressive, keeping the pressure on them, and really trying to get in their head instead of letting them get into yours. For some reason, this mentality shift helps you to get your mind off of the fear of losing the fight and definitely helps you win more fights. I know a lot of players who are kind of around average at the game mechanically, but they drop tons of kills simply because they're confident and good at getting into the heads of their opponents. Seriously, the mental game is so powerful in Fortnite. So next time you're in a fight, instead of focusing on your own nervousness, focus on channeling that into aggression and making your opponent the nervous one. And you'd be very surprised by how well this might work. My second tip for confidence is to consider what's on the line. A lot of people get way more nervous when they're fighting in game compared to creative, but in reality, they're literally the same thing. I mean, they're not exactly the same thing, but you get the gist. What I mean mean is there's really nothing on the line in either situation. Realistically, the absolute worst case scenario from dying in a match is you have to re-queue and be back in the game in about a minute or two. Sure, it's a mild inconvenience, but it won't really have any impact on your life whatsoever. When you're nervous in a fight, chances are it's because your mind is tricking you into thinking you actually have something to lose, when in reality, the absolute worst case scenario is an extremely mild inconvenience that probably won't stick in your mind for more than a minute or two, and potentially the loss of a few arena points, which really don't make any difference. I've noticed that a lot of the players who become insane at Fortnite tend to be the ones with the no craps given mentality. If they win, that's cool, and if they lose, whatever, they're just gonna queue up again. So overall, when you're getting nervous, just remember that you don't have anything to lose and play with confidence, because chances are your opponent is just as nervous as you are. Moving on to the third and final section for this video, and the third issue a lot of players run into is a lack of motivation. What I mean by a lack of motivation is those kind of slumps where you want to improve at the game, but it really just feels like a hassle and you're not looking forward to playing. Truthfully, this lack of motivation is a bit of a difficult issue, but there are some ways to improve upon it. The first way to improve your motivation is to set clearly defined goals. A lot of the time, people who play the game consistently really don't have a particular goal in mind. They might want to become a competitive player or something like that in the future, but it's not like they have a specific plan or goal that they're working towards at the moment. Setting clearly defined goals allows you to always be working towards something and to optimize what you actually do in the game. Also, being able to see that progress is super helpful. Knowing that you're working towards a particular goal is one of the most motivating things in Fortnite, so setting those goals is definitely something you should do. Goals are going to entirely depend on the person, but some good examples might include things like the following. Some of you might want to reach champs in arena, place top 1000 in a tournament, qualify for challenger or elite cups, or even just get a certain amount of crown wins or kills in one game. Whatever it may be, setting goals and working towards them is a great way to keep your motivation up and remain positive about your progress in Fortnite. Moving on to our second tip for motivation, and actually our final tip for this video, and this one is to surround yourself with like-minded players. By like-minded players, I'm talking about players who have a positive outlook on the game, want to improve, and actually put the time in and work in to get better at Fortnite. I've noticed throughout my time playing Fortnite that whenever I consistently play with or talk to players who want to improve at the game, I always feel way more motivated and way more excited to do it myself. If you surround yourself with players who have negative mentalities, constantly complain about how they think the game sucks, and don't want to practice and improve, then you're most likely going to end up just replicating their mindset. What a lot of high-level players do is they actually have friend groups, which are basically just groups of players, typically in a Discord server, who constantly practice and motivate one another to improve. You don't have to do exactly that, but it's definitely a good concept to go off of. And while we're on the topic of having people to play with and whatnot, I do want to mention my Discord server. In my Discord server, we've got tons of different players who want to improve at the game. Not only that, but we have looking for group chats for each individual region where you can find teammates, people to 1v1 or whatever else, and even chats where people can ask for advice regarding improving at the game for whatever they need and much more. So if you guys are interested, I'll put the link to the Discord server down in the description. But with all that said, that's going to wrap it up for today's video on how to fix your mentality in Fortnite Chapter 4. Overall, by using the methods we've gone over in this video, depending on what your mentality issue is, you should find yourself being more positive and motivated, feeling confident in fights, and getting less angry and tilted. If you found this video helpful, then be sure to drop a like on it, and consider subscribing as well if you're new to the channel and want to see more content just like this in the future. If you want to show some extra support as well, consider using code TECHO in the Fortnite item shop. It's 100% free for you, it only takes a few seconds to type in, and it seriously does help me out a bunch. As always, a massive thank you to everyone who uses it. And also guys, I would appreciate if you could let me know down in the comments what videos you want to see next on the channel. All ideas are greatly appreciated, so if you have any particular video you want to see, then definitely let me know. But with all that said, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.